Hey, welcome to Fathering Our Future, the podcast for dads. I'm Anthony Vandagriff, and I'm not the perfect dad, but every day I am trying to be better. Thank you so much for being with me today. I want to talk about something that's a bit of a challenge for us guys, and that is how to apologize to your kids. Now, I understand that apologizing in and of itself is sometimes a difficult thing for us to do. Truth be told, I think naturally and intrinsically we are just proud beings. We have this ego complex and we just think that we are macho or that we have to be macho, that we have to be this alpha representation all the time. And a part of that idea of who we have to be in our head is that we're never wrong, that we're always right, that we've got it figured out constantly, and that admitting that maybe we happen to be just a little bit wrong completely disassembles the man that we are portraying to be to everybody else. It's crazy, but if you're honest with yourself, that's probably how you think. And if you've advanced past that, then you know that you used to think that way. Apologizing can be difficult. That's a true reality for us guys, because we don't like to be wrong. Honestly, nobody likes to be wrong, but especially us guys, because we have this idea in our head that we have to be strong, that we have to be right, that if we are a leader, we don't really get to make mistakes. Leaders make mistakes because leaders are people, and people make mistakes because we are broken, we are flawed. It's just who we are. We cannot escape that. We cannot get away from that identity. So we have to get that out of our heads. We have to get that image and that idea of masculinity out of our thinking because it is garbage. It is not true. And if we try and live that way, we're going to be doing a lot of damage to ourselves. So don't be afraid of apologizing. Don't be afraid of admitting that you are wrong. It takes a bigger man to admit that they are wrong than it does to keep acting like you're always right. It takes a bigger man to admit that you're wrong. So be the bigger man. Now, apologizing is one thing. Apologizing to your kids, it's a totally different ballgame, because it's not just apologizing to your spouse. It's not just apologizing to a buddy. It's not apologizing to someone who's older than you, someone that you should naturally have reverence and respect for. It's apologizing to someone who is clearly and obviously beneath you. You're the parent. You're the dad. You're the leader. You are guiding this little person on how to live their life, on how to navigate life. You are helping them every step of the way. You're giving them the knowledge that they need. You're that wise counsel and that voice that helps them get through life. And to apologize, to say, I was wrong, or I am wrong about this, that is difficult to do, because I think naturally what we tend to do is we think, okay, if I admit that I am wrong to my kid, then my kid is going to start going down this path of, well, if they were wrong about this, could they be wrong about anything else? I'm going to go ahead and let you in on this little secret. That doesn't happen near as often when you are forthcoming about your mistakes. When you confess and apologize that, hey, son, daughter, I messed up, I was out of line, I was wrong for what I did. When you do that, there's just an acceptance of the confession. It's when your kids stumble across information on their own about you. It's when they just happen to find you out and discover that you're incorrect about something and that you just keep hiding it. Well, now there's something to investigate. Now there's a reason for them to inquire about, well, is there anything else that he's wrong about that he's trying to keep from me? That's when that line of thinking typically tends to happen with your kids. But when you're forthcoming with them, when you tell them, hey, I'm sorry, I messed up, I was wrong for this, not only are you helping them just mentally overcome whatever trauma or issue that they were trying to sort out after you did whatever you happened to have done, but you're being an example to them. You're displaying to them the brokenness of humanity. And that's what they need to know, because what you don't want is if you are always right and you are never wrong and you are this quote unquote perfect dad that really doesn't exist, well, your kids always see this supposed model of perfection. Well, what do you think they're going to try and do as they get older? Or what do you think they're going to be trying to do while they're younger? They're going to try and be perfect. And what's going to hurt them is the fact that they're going to fail day in and day out, because none of us are perfect. But when your kids think that's what you are, when they think that you are modeling perfection and that they can never live up to that, you are degrading them. You are hurting them. So apologizing and confessing, hey, I'm wrong. I make mistakes. And this is what I did, and it was wrong, and I'm sorry for doing that. When you do that, you do loads of benefits for your children. So don't be afraid to apologize, and don't be afraid to apologize to your kids. It doesn't make you look weak. It makes you look like a better dad. And that's the goal. The goal is to not be a perfect dad because it's unattainable. The goal is to just be a better dad every day. That's the goal. So I'm going to give you the secret on how to apologize to your kids. Go ahead and get your notebook, get ready, because I'm going to drop some huge wisdom on you here. You ready? You just do it. You just do it. You don't overthink it. You don't try and create some sort of special occasion for it. You don't have to wait for the right moment. You just do it. Say what needs to be said. Don't wait. Don't drag it out. Don't overthink it. Don't try and do something special. Don't take them out to some special place and be like, look, I'm doing this because I'm sorry. Well, then there's a different motive as to why you're doing something for your kid. And they think, well, dad's only going to do fun things like this for me whenever he makes mistakes, and dad doesn't make mistakes because he's the perfect dad. So don't do that. We overthink this sometimes. We have a tendency to do this where we overthink things that are just simple. Don't delay what needs to just be spoken. Let me tell you what happened to me today. So I had the kids, and I'm dropping them off for school. My wife has to go to work earlier than I do. So I have the kids, and in my truck, since I do home remodeling, I could have a number of dangerous and deadly objects in the back where my kids sit. Well, I get the girls out, and Frankie hops out, and Frankie happens to spot some little nails for a nail gun on the floor in the truck. And he picks them up, and I saw that he had something in his hand. And I look, and I'm like, buddy, what's in your hand? And he shows me this little strip of nails. And I was like, what is wrong with you? I said those words. I said, what is wrong with you? Put those down. And he got out of the truck, and he turned back, and he looked at me, and he said, why did you say, what is wrong with you? And in that moment, I was just like, oh man, okay, first of all, it's too early. I can't deal with this. I just tried to shut the conversation down, distract him, get him to think about something else. I got him into their classrooms, and I left. And the fact that I said that kind of weighed heavy on me. And to be honest about what happened throughout the day is I went about the day, but on the way back to pick the kids up, I had a lot of free time in the truck. I had, a 35-minute drive to get to the school. I think that's a fantastic time to pray. So that's what I do. I look like I'm on the phone with somebody else speaking through my truck, but I'm praying, I'm talking to God, and that came back to my mind. And I just was so disappointed that I would say that because I'm praying and expressing gratitude for my family. I'm being grateful that I have this beautiful, wonderful family. I'm being thankful for all of my kids, all of the things that we get to do. And then that comes back to mind. And I thought, okay, that was clearly wrong and I need to apologize. So as soon as I pick up the kids, I get them loaded up. I say a little bit about, what their day was like and have a little bit of conversation. But literally, as we pull out of the parking lot from the school, I turned back to Frankie and I said, hey, buddy, I said, this morning, do you remember when I said, what's wrong with you? And he sat there for a little while and he thought and he said, no, I don't remember that. Now, I could have been like, okay, forget about it. Don't do that, all right? Keep going through with the apology if this happens to you. So I said, no, and I laid the whole scenario out for him. I was like, you picked up the nails that were on the back, that were on the floor in the back of the truck. I saw them in your hand. I said, what is wrong with you? I took them from you. I said, you don't remember that? And he was like, no, I don't. I said, okay. I said, well, I did that, and I said that to you. I said, and I'm sorry, because that's not something I should say to you. That's not kind, and there's nothing wrong with you, and I should not have said it. I followed through with the apology, and I said that, and he said, okay, and I said, do you forgive me? And he said, yes, and it was over, and it was done. Forgiveness is a beautiful thing, and it's really nice to receive it when you know you've messed up, because what it does is it sets you free from the guilt and the shame of your mistake. And we need that as dads, because we make mistakes. And if you're honest with yourself, you know you make mistakes too. And having that guilt lifted from your shoulders, having that burden of shame removed because that son or that daughter or those kids said, Dad, it's okay, we forgive you. That's a beautiful thing, but it only happens when you take that first step and apologize. So don't be afraid of admitting that you were wrong. Everyone already knows that you're wrong from time to time. The secret is out. You are not fooling anyone. So don't try and build upon the lies of perfection. The goal is to be a better dad every day. And if you want to do that, when you make mistakes, and you will make mistakes, but when you make those mistakes, have the courage and the masculinity to ask your kids for forgiveness. Apologize to your kids. Yes, you're the leader. Yes, you're the one who's supposed to know it all. Yes, you're the one who's supposed to always have the right answer, but the truth is, you don't. And that's okay. And if your kids know that, that's even better. So when you make mistakes, do not hesitate. Do not overthink. Do not try and do something special. Do not try and sugarcoat it. Don't wait for the right moment, because it doesn't exist. Just say what needs to be said. Just apologize. That's how you do it. It's simple. Don't overthink it. If you mess up, be the man you need to be the dad that you need to be, and just say, I'm sorry. This is Fathering Our Future, the podcast for dads. I'm Anthony Vandagriff. Thank you for being with me, and I hope you'll join me next time. Hey, thanks for watching today's episode. I hope it has blessed you and challenged you to strive to be a better dad every day. And if you'd like more great content like this, just subscribe to the channel. Also, if you think dads are valuable and essential to the family, consider supporting this effort. Just go to fatheringourfuture.com and click support. Every contribution helps, and it's greatly appreciated. Thank you for being a part of Fathering Our Future.